Stop reading manifestation books and do this for real results. Introduction. You've probably come across countless books, videos, and articles that promise to help you manifest the life you want. They tell you to focus on your thoughts, write down your goals, and just believe it's all going to happen. But if you're being honest with yourself, have you seen the results you were promised? Do you really feel like you've made the progress you've been hoping for? Or do you feel stuck, frustrated, and like you're just spinning your wheels? It's not your fault. There's a lot of hype around manifestation, but what's often missing from the conversation is the truth. It's not enough to simply wish for things to change. You can't sit around waiting for the universe to send you success while doing nothing. Real results come from action backed by discipline, hard work, and a mindset that focuses on long-term growth, not instant fixes. In this book, we'll break down what really works when it comes to achieving your goals and transforming your life. We'll dive into practical steps, everyday strategies, and actionable advice that will help you build real, lasting success. No more empty promises. No more wishful thinking. Just real, proven methods that you can start using right now to take control of your future. You don't need to keep chasing quick fixes or hoping that the next book will have the magic answer. The truth is, the power to change your life is already within you. It's time to stop waiting for motivation and start building the discipline and habits that will make a real difference in your life. By the end of this book, you'll know exactly what steps to take to stop feeling stuck and start making progress every single day. This is not about some magical formula that promises easy success. It's about putting in the work, making consistent efforts, and trusting the process. The tools you need to succeed are right in front of you. You just need the courage to take action and the discipline to keep going. Are you ready to stop reading the same old manifestation books and start seeing real, measurable results? Let's get to work. Chapter 1. Why manifestation alone doesn't work. People love the idea of manifestation because it feels effortless. The thought of simply visualizing success, thinking positively, and trusting the universe is comforting. It's tempting to believe that if you just focus hard enough on what you want, it will magically appear. But life doesn't work that way. If it did, there wouldn't be millions of people stuck in the same place year after year, wishing for a breakthrough that never comes. The truth is, thinking about something is not the same as doing something. You can spend hours picturing your dream body, but if you don't exercise and eat right, your health won't improve. You can visualize wealth all you want, but if you don't develop valuable skills, work hard, and make smart financial decisions, no amount of positive thinking will change your bank account. People get caught up in the fantasy of manifestation because it offers an illusion of control without requiring real effort. It tricks the mind into believing that imagining success is the same as earning it. Belief is important, but it is only the beginning. What separates people who achieve their goals from those who don't is not their ability to dream, it's their ability to act. Some of the most successful individuals in the world didn't just sit around thinking about success. They worked for it, sacrificed for it, and stayed committed even when things got hard. They didn't wait for the universe to hand them opportunities. They created opportunities by consistently taking action. Many people who follow manifestation practices are stuck in a cycle of passive hope. They read book after book, write affirmations, create vision boards, and yet nothing changes. Why? Because they never move past the phase of wishing. They mistake daydreaming for progress. They confuse inspiration with transformation. The reason they remain in the same place is simple: they aren't putting in the necessary work. Results don't come from imagining a better life. They come from building it. Every successful person, whether they realize it or not, follows a system of disciplined action. They don't rely on luck or mystical forces to shape their destiny. They rely on their ability to make decisions and take steps, no matter how small, toward their goals every single day. The problem with manifestation alone is that it creates a false sense of accomplishment. When people visualize their dream life, their brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that's triggered when real progress is made. This temporary high makes them feel like they're moving forward, even when they aren't doing anything concrete to change their reality. Over time, they become addicted to the feeling of dreaming rather than the process of doing. They remain trapped in a cycle of hope instead of action, constantly waiting for something external to change their circumstances. People who get real results don't wait for the right energy or perfect conditions. They don't rely on the idea that the universe will take care of everything. They take responsibility. They understand that no matter how much they believe in their goals, those goals will remain out of reach unless they are willing to put in the effort to make them happen. If you want to see real change, stop focusing on thoughts alone and start focusing on actions. Instead of wishing for a better job, develop the skills that will qualify you for one. Instead of hoping to get fit, commit to showing up at the gym and making healthier choices. Instead of dreaming about financial freedom, learn about money management and take practical steps to increase your income. Success isn't a matter of attraction, it's a matter of discipline, effort, and persistence. People who accomplish great things aren't necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They are simply the ones who show up, put in the work, and refuse to quit. They understand that setbacks are part of the process, but instead of getting discouraged, they adapt and keep moving forward. They know that real growth happens not when things are easy, but when they push through challenges and keep going despite obstacles. Manifestation, when used correctly, can be a tool for motivation. It can help set a vision, clarify goals, and reinforce a positive mindset. But it cannot replace action. Thinking about something doesn't make it real, only action does. If you've been spending time visualizing your goals but seeing no progress, it's time to ask yourself the hard question: are you actually doing what it takes, or are you just hoping that things will somehow fall into place? The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't their level of belief, it's their level of commitment. While some people are sitting around thinking about what they want, others are out there making things happen. They wake up early, stay disciplined, and push themselves even when they don't feel like it. They don't wait for signs or synchronicities to tell them it's time. They decide it's time and take action. Your future is being built by what you do today, not by what you think about doing tomorrow. Every day that passes is another day where you either take control of your life or let life happen to you. The choice is always yours. You can keep hoping or you can start moving. One leads to frustration and the other leads to results. The question is, which path will you choose? Chapter 2. The Power of Taking Action. Now, everywhere you look, people are waiting. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting until they feel ready. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before they know it, years have passed without any real progress. The truth is, the perfect time never comes. The people who get ahead in life are not the ones who sit around planning indefinitely. They are the ones who start, even when conditions aren't ideal. Most people think success is about knowing the right strategy, having a flawless plan, or waiting for some magical burst of inspiration. But those things don't matter if action isn't taken. The gap between where someone is now and where they want to be is not filled with wishes or plans. It's filled with consistent steps forward, no matter how small. Taking action is the only thing that moves things from the realm of possibility into reality. People often convince themselves that they need more information before they can begin. They consume endless books, courses, and videos, telling themselves they're preparing. But preparation without execution is just another form of procrastination. Knowledge means nothing if it's never put into practice. The person who reads 100 books on business but never starts one will always be behind the person who simply starts and learns through experience. Fear of failure keeps many people stuck. They worry about making mistakes, looking foolish, or not getting it right the first time. But mistakes are not the enemy. Inaction is. The most successful individuals are the ones who fail repeatedly, learn from their failures, and keep moving forward. Every setback teaches something valuable, but those lessons can only be learned through doing. The longer someone avoids taking action, the more they stay trapped in the same place, watching others move ahead while they remain stuck in hesitation. Action is not about making huge leaps overnight. It's about doing something today, no matter how small, that brings a goal closer. It's about sending that email, making that call, writing that page, or taking that first step toward better health. The mistake most people make is waiting until they feel motivated. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Those who succeed are the ones who act even when they don't feel like it. They understand that feelings are temporary, but the results of their actions last. The hardest part of any journey is the beginning. Momentum doesn't come from thinking about doing something. It comes from starting. The moment action is taken, resistance starts to weaken. The more something is done, the easier it gets. A person who hasn't exercised in years will find the first workout difficult, but if they show up consistently, it soon becomes second nature. The same applies to every area of life: business, relationships, skill building. Consistency beats intensity every time. People often talk about confidence as if it's something that needs to be built before action can be taken. But confidence isn't the starting point, it's the result. The only way to become confident in something is to do it repeatedly. A beginner in any field feels awkward and uncertain at first, but by pushing through discomfort and taking action despite fear, confidence grows naturally. Waiting to feel ready only leads to more waiting. Excuses keep people in the same place. The mind is skilled at justifying inaction. There's not enough time, resources are limited, circumstances aren't perfect. But there will always be obstacles. The difference between those who move forward and those who don't is that one group finds reasons to act, while the other finds reasons to wait. The reality is, time will pass either way. A year from now, a person will either be further ahead because they took action, or in the same spot because they didn't. People admire those who achieve great things, but they often overlook the small, unglamorous steps that made those achievements possible. Every great book was written one page at a time. Every thriving business started with a single decision to begin. Every strong body was built through countless small choices in diet and exercise. The mistake many people make is only focusing on the end result and forgetting that it's built through thousands of small actions taken consistently over time. Waiting feels safe, but it is the biggest thief of progress. The mind tricks itself into believing that waiting is a form of preparation, but all it does is delay results. Those who understand the power of action don't sit around hoping for circumstances to change. They take responsibility for creating change. They understand that action is the one thing that guarantees progress, while inaction guarantees that nothing will ever improve. There is never a perfect time to start. The best time will always be now. The longer someone waits, the harder it becomes. The sooner action is taken, the sooner results begin to show. Those who succeed are not the ones who had the best starting conditions. They are the ones who started despite their conditions. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates change. The only way to get anywhere is to begin. Chapter 3. Shifting your focus from vision to execution. Most people spend their time stuck in their heads, imagining how life could be different. They replay the same dreams over and over, picturing success, wealth, happiness, or a fresh start. But no matter how vivid the vision, nothing changes until action replaces thought. It's easy to get caught up in ideas, believing that clarity will somehow lead to results. But results don't come from ideas alone. They come from execution. The problem is that people confuse planning with progress. They believe that mapping out every step before taking action will prevent mistakes. They spend weeks, months, sometimes years refining the perfect strategy, only to realize that no amount of planning can prepare them for the reality of doing. Execution is messy. Things never go exactly as expected. No strategy survives contact with the real world without adjustments. Those who move forward understand that figuring things out happens along the way, not before they begin. Many hesitate to take the first step because they want certainty. They want to know for sure that their efforts will pay off, that every move will lead directly to success. But certainty is a myth. Nobody knows exactly how things will unfold. The only way to find out what works is to start and make adjustments as needed. The most successful people didn't have perfect clarity when they began. They gained it through experience. The difference between those who get results and those who don't is that one group takes action despite uncertainty, while the other waits for a guarantee that will never come. Waiting for motivation is another trap. People believe they need to feel inspired before they can take meaningful steps. They assume that once they're in the right mindset, everything will fall into place effortlessly. But motivation is unreliable. It fluctuates, fades, and often disappears when things become difficult. The ones who achieve their goals don't rely on feelings to dictate their actions. They work even when they don't feel like it, because they understand that momentum comes from movement, not from waiting for the right mood. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck in the vision phase is the fear of failure. They believe that if they hold off long enough, they can find the perfect path that guarantees success without mistakes. But avoiding failure is impossible. Every journey includes setbacks, missteps, and challenges. The only way to learn and improve is to go through those experiences. Failure is not a stop sign, it's part of the process. The real failure is never starting at all. Overthinking kills progress. The longer someone analyzes a decision, the harder it becomes to make a move. The mind creates endless scenarios, highlighting all the things that could go wrong. Meanwhile, time keeps moving, and nothing gets done. Action, even if imperfect, beats overthinking every time. Clarity comes through movement. The only way to know what works is to try, learn, and adjust. Small steps matter more than people realize. Most get overwhelmed by the size of their dreams, believing they need to make massive changes all at once. But real progress happens through consistent small actions. A person who writes 1 page a day will have a book in a year. Someone who saves a little money regularly will build wealth over time. Success is not about sudden leaps. It's about steady movement forward, no matter how small. Excuses are easy to make. There will always be reasons to wait: lack of time, lack of resources, not knowing where to start. But there is never a perfect time. Those who move forward find a way despite their circumstances. They use what they have and begin where they are. They understand that conditions improve through action, not before it. Many people believe they need the right tools, connections, or opportunities before they can start. But the truth is, people who take action create opportunities. They attract the right connections by putting themselves out there. They develop skills through doing, not through waiting. Everything they think they need before starting often comes as a result of starting. Time will pass regardless. A year from now, life will either look different because of actions taken today, or it will look the same because of continued hesitation. Those who move forward understand that waiting doesn't change anything. They take control of their own future by shifting from dreaming to doing. The only way to reach any goal is to stop thinking about it and start working toward it. Chapter 4. Stop waiting for motivation. Create a routine. People spend so much time waiting for the right feeling to push them into action. They sit around hoping for that rush of energy, that sudden wave of inspiration, that perfect moment when everything feels easy. But those moments are rare, and even when they do come, they don't last. If success depended on feeling motivated all the time, nobody would achieve anything. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck isn't motivation. It's routine. There's a common belief that discipline is something people either have or they don't, like some rare personality trait that only a few are born with. But discipline isn't a talent. It's a habit. The people who get up early, stick to their workouts, work on their goals every day, and show up even when they don't feel like it aren't special. They've just trained themselves to do the hard things, whether they feel motivated or not. They don't rely on fleeting emotions. They rely on the structure they've built for themselves. Most people fail to make progress because they wait to feel ready. They tell themselves that when the time is right, when they feel inspired, when things finally fall into place, then they'll start. But time passes, and they're still in the same spot, waiting for the perfect conditions that never come. The ones who move forward understand that feelings are unreliable, but actions are controllable. They don't let their moods decide whether or not they do the work. They just do it. The brain loves comfort. It looks for the easy way out, the shortcut, the path of least resistance. That's why most people struggle to stay consistent. The moment something feels difficult or inconvenient, their mind starts looking for excuses. It's too early, too cold, too hard. But discipline means overriding those thoughts. It means choosing long-term success over short-term comfort. It means deciding once, instead of making the same choice every single day. When something becomes routine, it stops being a decision and starts being automatic. The most productive people in the world don't wake up every day debating whether or not they should do the work. They remove the option of not doing it. They create habits so strong that skipping them isn't even a thought. They don't rely on willpower because they know willpower runs out. They structure their days in a way that eliminates distractions, reduces decision fatigue, and makes it easier to stay on track. They don't give themselves a chance to back out. Some believe they need to make massive changes all at once to see progress. They think they have to wake up at 5 a.m., overhaul their diet, work out for 2 hours, and completely transform overnight. But big changes rarely stick. The brain resists anything that feels too different from its normal routine. That's why extreme motivation crashes so quickly. It burns bright for a moment, then fades, leaving people right back where they started. The real key to lasting change isn't intensity, it's consistency. Small daily actions compound over time, creating momentum that builds into something unstoppable. People often struggle because they try to rely on motivation instead of creating systems that make success inevitable. A writer who waits for inspiration will never finish a book, but one who commits to writing every day, even if it's just a few sentences, will eventually have a completed manuscript. An athlete who only trains when they feel like it will never reach their full potential, but one who sticks to a schedule, no matter what, will continue to improve. Progress isn't about giant leaps, it's about showing up, again and again, until results become unavoidable. Many quit before they see results because they expect change to happen quickly. They work hard for a few weeks, don't see immediate success, and assume it's not working. But real progress is slow. It happens in the background, quietly, without fanfare. A person who goes to the gym for a month might not see dramatic differences, but if they keep going for a year, the transformation will be undeniable. The same principle applies to every area of life. Those who stay consistent eventually surpass those who started with more talent, better resources, or greater motivation, but failed to stick with it. Most people underestimate how much they can achieve in a year and overestimate what they can do in a day. They think success is about one big effort, one major push, one life-changing decision. But it's not. It's about the daily grind, the small choices, the unglamorous work that nobody sees. The people who seem to have it all together aren't more gifted or more driven than everyone else. They've just mastered the art of doing what needs to be done, no matter how they feel. At the end of the day, success isn't about luck, inspiration, or waiting for the right mood to strike. It's about creating a system that forces progress. It's about removing the option of failure by making discipline automatic. Those who understand this don't waste time searching for motivation. They build habits so strong that taking action becomes second nature. The moment someone stops waiting for motivation and starts relying on routine, everything changes. Chapter 5. Get comfortable with hard work. People want success, but they don't always want the effort that comes with it. They admire the results of discipline, consistency, and sacrifice. Yet when it's time to put in the work, they look for shortcuts. The truth is, nothing meaningful comes without struggle. The sooner this is accepted, the easier it becomes to commit to the process. Those who embrace hard work, instead of avoiding it, gain an advantage. They separate themselves from the crowd, not because they're more talented, but because they're willing to endure what most people run from. Comfort is the enemy of growth. The mind naturally seeks the easiest path, the quickest solution, the way to avoid discomfort. It's why people procrastinate, why they make excuses, why they quit the moment something feels too difficult. But every real achievement is on the other side of difficulty. The ones who move forward are those who don't back away when things become challenging. They push through, knowing that struggle isn't a sign to stop. It's proof that they're making progress. Most people quit long before they should because they expect things to be easier than they are. They assume that if they were truly meant for something, it wouldn't feel so hard. But that's not how life works. Growth demands resistance. Muscles only strengthen through repeated stress. The mind only sharpens by being challenged. Skills only develop through constant repetition. Everything worth having requires effort, and anything that comes too easily is rarely valuable in the long run. The ones who achieve more aren't always the smartest or the most naturally gifted. They're simply the ones who stay in the game when everyone else gives up. They understand that obstacles are not barriers but tests. Every challenge is an opportunity to prove how much they want it. While others complain about the difficulty, they lean into it. They recognize that every struggle is shaping them into someone who can handle the success they're working toward. Hard work isn't about constant exhaustion or sacrificing well-being. It's about doing what needs to be done even when it's not convenient. It's about showing up when it's easier to stay in bed, staying focused when distractions are everywhere, and refusing to let temporary discomfort dictate long-term results. It's about training the mind to push past the point where most people stop. Excuses are the biggest obstacle to progress. People convince themselves they don't have enough time, resources, or energy. They blame circumstances, waiting for a perfect moment that never arrives. But the reality is, those who succeed face the same struggles as everyone else. The difference is, they refuse to let those struggles become reasons to stop. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for better conditions. They don't wait for permission. They do what's necessary, regardless of how they feel. The idea that success should be effortless is one of the biggest lies people believe. It creates frustration when things don't happen as quickly as expected. It makes people think that because they're struggling, they're doing something wrong. But struggle is part of the journey. No one who has built something great did it without moments of doubt, exhaustion, or frustration. The difference is, they kept going anyway. The more someone avoids hard work, the more they stay stuck. The ones who grow are the ones who stop looking for easy options and start embracing the process. They don't ask if it's going to be difficult. They already know it will be. Instead of resisting it, they make the choice to go through it. They understand that effort isn't something to be avoided, it's something to be mastered. There will always be a reason to quit. The mind will always offer an easier option, but progress belongs to those who shut down those thoughts and move forward anyway. The moment someone accepts that there is no easy path, everything changes. They stop wasting time searching for shortcuts and start doing the real work. And that's when results begin to show. Chapter 6. Mastering time. Stop wasting your most precious resource. Time is the most valuable thing a person has, yet most people treat it like it's endless. They waste hours scrolling through their phones, watching meaningless content, procrastinating on things that could change their lives. Then they complain about not having enough time to work on their goals. The truth is, it's never about not having time, it's about how time is being used. Every day, people are given the same 24 hours. Some use them wisely, building something worthwhile, while others let them slip away, distracted by things that don't matter. The difference isn't in the amount of time available, but in the choices being made. The biggest mistake people make is believing they have plenty of time to do everything later. They assume they'll start working on their goals next week, next month, or next year. But life moves quickly, and the years pass whether action is taken or not. What seems like a harmless delay today turns into years of wasted potential. Those who understand this don't wait for the perfect moment to start. They treat time like the rare resource it is, knowing that once it's gone, it's never coming back. There's a belief that being busy means being productive, but busyness and productivity are not the same. Some people fill their days with activities that make them feel like they're accomplishing something, but in reality, they're just spinning in circles. They check emails, attend pointless meetings, overplan, overthink, and convince themselves they've had a productive day when nothing important was actually done. Productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things. The most successful people aren't the ones who work the longest hours, they're the ones who focus on what truly moves them forward. Distractions are the biggest thief of time. Most people don't even realize how much of their day is lost to mindless scrolling, constant notifications, and unnecessary conversations. They start with good intentions, but get pulled away by every little thing that demands their attention. Hours disappear, and at the end of the day, they wonder why nothing meaningful was accomplished. Those who take control of their time understand the importance of focus. They eliminate distractions, set boundaries, and create an environment where deep work is possible. They don't allow outside noise to dictate their schedule. Every person has the same amount of time, but not everyone values it the same way. Some invest it in building skills, improving themselves, and working towards something meaningful. Others waste it on entertainment, gossip, and things that add nothing to their future. The way time is spent is a direct reflection of priorities. Those who claim they don't have time to exercise, read, or pursue their goals always seem to have time for television, social media, and unimportant tasks. The truth is, it's never about a lack of time, it's about how that time is being prioritized. People often wait for motivation to start working on their goals, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes, and if progress depends on feeling inspired, nothing will ever get done consistently. The ones who get ahead are those who don't wait for the right mood. They schedule their most important work and show up for it no matter how they feel. They understand that action creates momentum, and the more they move forward, the easier it becomes to keep going. Time management isn't about filling every second with work, it's about being intentional. It's about knowing what matters and cutting out everything that doesn't. The most successful people don't overload their schedules with endless tasks. They focus on the few things that truly make a difference. They protect their time like they protect their money, refusing to waste it on things that don't bring value. The people who achieve the most aren't superhuman. They don't have more hours in the day than anyone else. They simply refuse to waste the hours they do have. They don't allow distractions to control them. They don't let meaningless tasks take over their schedule. They don't fall into the trap of mistaking activity for achievement. They decide what's important, and they commit to it, day after day. At the end of life, nobody looks back and wishes they had spent more time watching television or scrolling through social media. The regrets come from the things left undone, the dreams never pursued, the time wasted on things that didn't matter. The only way to avoid those regrets is to start treating time like the precious resource it is. The clock is always moving, and every moment spent on something meaningless is a moment that could have been used to build something great. The ones who understand this take their time seriously, and because of that, they achieve more in a few years than most people do in a lifetime. Chapter 7. Letting go of limiting beliefs and self-doubt. People carry invisible weights that hold them back from reaching their true potential. These weights come in the form of doubts, fears, and beliefs that whisper the same limiting stories over and over again. They convince themselves they aren't smart enough, strong enough, or capable enough to achieve what they truly want. They tell themselves success is reserved for others, that they don't have the right background, the right resources, or the right luck. Over time, these thoughts become their reality, not because they are true, but because they have been repeated so many times that they feel like truth. The mind is like a glass of water. If it's filled with muddy, polluted thoughts, there's no space for clarity or progress. Most people never question where their beliefs come from. They accept them as facts when, in reality, many of them were shaped by negative experiences, outside influences, or the opinions of people who never had the courage to chase their own dreams. These beliefs are passed down like an old story, repeated so often that they become ingrained. But just because a belief has been held for a long time doesn't mean it should be kept. People often underestimate how much their thoughts shape their actions. If someone believes they are unworthy of success, they will subconsciously make choices that keep them from achieving it. If they assume they will always struggle financially, they will never take the steps needed to change their situation. If they constantly doubt their abilities, they will never put themselves in positions to grow. The mind looks for proof of what it already believes, and if those beliefs are negative, they will always find reasons to stay stuck. One of the biggest traps people fall into is assuming that their past defines their future. They look at their mistakes, failures, and setbacks, and use them as evidence that they will never succeed. They let old disappointments dictate what they believe is possible. But the past only has power if it is allowed to. Every moment is a chance to break away from those limitations and create a new reality. The most successful people aren't those who never failed. They are the ones who refuse to let failure define them. They learned from it, adapted, and moved forward instead of letting it become a permanent barrier. Fear is another major reason people hold themselves back. The fear of failure, rejection, or looking foolish stops more dreams than actual obstacles ever do. They stay in the comfort of what is familiar, even when it is limiting. They convince themselves that staying safe is better than taking a risk, even if that means settling for less than they truly want. But growth only happens in discomfort. The people who break free from their limitations aren't fearless. They simply decide that their goals are more important than their fears. They take action despite the uncertainty, knowing that the only real failure is never trying at all. Excuses often disguise themselves as logic. People convince themselves they need more experience, more money, or more confidence before they can take the next step. They tell themselves the timing isn't right, that they need to wait for a better opportunity. But all of these are just ways of avoiding discomfort. The reality is, there will never be a perfect time. There will always be reasons to delay. The difference between those who move forward and those who don't is that the ones who succeed stop waiting. They take action with what they have, trusting that progress comes from movement, not from overthinking. Success isn't about talent, intelligence, or luck. It's about belief. People who believe they can achieve something find a way to make it happen. Those who believe they can't will always find reasons why it's impossible. The choice of what to believe is always there. The moment someone decides to stop holding on to old stories and start writing a new one, everything shifts. They no longer see challenges as signs to quit, but as proof that they are moving in the right direction. They replace doubt with action, fear with persistence, and limitation with possibility. No one is born with self-doubt. It is learned over time, but that also means it can be unlearned. The first step to breaking free is to recognize the thoughts that have been keeping them stuck. The next step is to challenge them. Instead of automatically believing every negative thought, question it. Where did it come from? Is it based on facts or assumptions? Has it been holding you back more than helping you move forward? Most of the time, these beliefs don't stand up to scrutiny. They only had power because they were never examined. Every person has a choice to continue believing the same old story or to create a new one. The past doesn't have to be a prediction of the future. Fear doesn't have to be a permanent roadblock. Doubt doesn't have to control decisions. The people who break free from their limitations don't have fewer struggles. They simply refuse to let those struggles define them. They take control of their mindset, their actions, and their future. They realize that the only thing standing between them and their goals isn't some external force. It's the beliefs they choose to hold on to. The moment they change those, their entire life changes with them. Chapter 8. Stop the excuses. Own your decisions. People often blame circumstances, bad luck, or other people for where they are in life. They convince themselves that if things were different, they would finally take action. If they had more time, more money, better connections, or fewer responsibilities, they would chase their dreams. But the truth is, waiting for ideal conditions is just another way of avoiding responsibility. There will always be obstacles, unexpected setbacks, and reasons to delay. Those who succeed aren't the ones who had a perfect path. They are the ones who stopped making excuses and started making decisions. The most dangerous lie people tell themselves is that they aren't in control. They believe external forces dictate their future, so they accept whatever life gives them. They blame their job for their lack of progress, their past for their current struggles, or other people for holding them back. But this mindset is the reason they stay stuck. The moment someone stops seeing themselves as a victim of their circumstances and starts taking responsibility for their actions, everything changes. No one else is responsible for their growth, their discipline, or their success. No one is going to come and hand them the life they want. People often assume successful individuals had an easier path. They see the results but not the years of effort, sacrifice, and discipline that made those results possible. What separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't isn't luck or talent. It's the willingness to take ownership of every choice. The ones who reach their full potential don't waste time blaming others or dwelling on things they can't change. They focus on what they can control, and they take action. Excuses come in many forms, and one of the most common is time. People say they don't have enough of it, yet they find hours for distractions, entertainment, and things that add no value to their future. They say they are too busy to work on their goals, but always have time for social media, television, or pointless conversations. The truth is, it's never about a lack of time, it's about priorities. The people who move forward in life don't wait until they have free time. They make time. They cut out the unnecessary and dedicate themselves to what truly matters. Fear often disguises itself as logic. People tell themselves they need to wait for the right moment, that they aren't ready yet, that they need more experience, more knowledge, or more resources. They convince themselves that staying where they are is the smart choice, but in reality, they are just afraid of stepping outside their comfort zone. No one ever feels completely ready to take the next step. Growth happens by doing, by taking action before everything feels perfect. Failure is another common excuse. People avoid taking responsibility because they are afraid of making mistakes. They think if they try and fail, they will confirm their worst fears about themselves. But failure is only permanent if they choose to stop. Every successful person has failed more times than they can count, but instead of using it as a reason to quit, they use it as a lesson. They adjust, improve, and try again. The ones who never move forward are those who allow fear of failure to keep them stuck in place. Blaming circumstances is easy. It removes the pressure of taking action and makes it seem like success is out of their hands. But the people who create real change in their lives don't waste time complaining about what's unfair. They focus on what they can do with what they have. They work with their current reality instead of wishing for a different one. No one has complete control over everything, but everyone has control over how they respond. That's what makes the difference. The moment someone stops making excuses, they gain power over their life. Instead of waiting for things to change, they start making changes themselves. They stop relying on motivation and build discipline. They stop wishing for opportunities and create their own. They take control of their habits, their choices, and their mindset. They realize that no one is coming to save them. It's up to them to do the work. Success isn't about finding the easiest path or waiting for the perfect moment. It's about deciding that no matter what stands in the way, progress will be made. It's about refusing to let excuses dictate the future. Those who achieve their goals aren't the ones who had the best starting point. They are the ones who stopped looking for reasons to wait and started taking action with what they had. The sooner someone stops looking for outside factors to blame and starts owning their decisions, the sooner they can build the life they want. Chapter 9. Shift from quick fixes to long-term results. People often dream of a quick solution, a shortcut to success, or an easy fix that will suddenly make everything fall into place. They read about the next big trend, the latest hacks, or the magical method that promises rapid results. It's tempting, isn't it? The idea that if you just find the right formula, everything will work out and success will come effortlessly. But the reality is far more straightforward, and it's something that most people don't want to accept. Long-term results require long-term effort. The instant gratification culture has led many to believe that anything worthwhile should happen quickly. We want things now. We want to achieve our goals immediately, without delays or setbacks. We see others who appear to have it all, and we want to follow in their footsteps. We watch someone's success story and think, if I just do what they did, I'll get there too. But what often gets overlooked in those stories is the years of hard work, failures, and persistence that came before the moment of success. Most people don't see the struggles, the sacrifices, and the countless hours spent building the foundation before the public recognition. The key to real lasting change is consistency. It's not about finding the perfect method that guarantees instant success, but about showing up every single day, doing the work, and improving bit by bit. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't change overnight. You might find yourself doing everything right, following all the steps, and yet the results aren't showing up fast enough. That's where many people quit. They expect progress to be linear, to follow a clear upward path. When things take longer than expected, they wonder if it's even worth it. But the truth is, those incremental improvements build momentum over time. They compound slowly but surely, until one day you look back and realize just how far you've come. It's easy to be enticed by the idea of quick fixes, but quick fixes rarely lead to sustainable results. A diet pill that promises instant weight loss, a magic formula to get rich quickly, or a shortcut to success. These things often come with an expiration date. What happens when the temporary high fades? What happens when the results don't last? Without the foundation of hard work and discipline, any success gained quickly can also be lost just as fast. Success is not a sprint. It's a marathon, and like any marathon, it requires preparation, training, and persistence. The person who runs a race doesn't do it by cutting corners. They pace themselves, build endurance, and keep going even when the finish line seems far away. If you truly want to achieve long-lasting results, you must build the kind of habits that support growth, even when the rewards aren't immediate. The key is consistency. It's about doing what needs to be done, day in and day out, regardless of whether or not you see instant rewards. The idea of quick fixes feeds into the myth of effortless success. It creates the illusion that someone who has achieved great things must have had a secret. But the secret is simple: they did the work. They kept going when it got tough. They didn't look for shortcuts because they understood that the real reward lies in the process, not just the end result. Every successful person you admire has walked that path. The difference is that they didn't get discouraged by the lack of instant results. They understood that progress is gradual, and they trusted the process even when they couldn't see the finish line. It's easy to forget that building something meaningful takes time. Think about how long it takes to build a house. You can't rush it. You need a solid foundation, and you can't skip steps just to get it done faster. Similarly, the journey toward your goals requires patience and steady work. Every day you put in effort, no matter how small, is a brick in the foundation of your success. You might not see the entire structure right away, but trust that the work you're doing is shaping something lasting. There's a certain satisfaction that comes with knowing your efforts are building something that will last. It's not about reaching your goal in record time. It's about the sense of pride that comes from seeing how far you've come. Every step, every small win adds up. Progress is not always visible in the short term, but over time, the results become undeniable. When you choose long-term results over quick fixes, you are investing in something far more valuable, your future. You are creating a legacy that won't disappear as quickly as it arrived. Taking the long road requires discipline. It's not glamorous or exciting at all times. There are days when it feels like you're not getting anywhere, when the effort seems wasted, and when you wonder if it's all worth it. But those days are the moments that test your resolve. It's easy to stay motivated when everything is going well, but real growth happens when you keep going even when things are tough. When you choose the long path, you're committing to your own growth, and that commitment makes all the difference. Sometimes, the greatest challenge isn't in the work itself, but in resisting the temptation to look for shortcuts. People love hacks, tips and tricks because they promise quick results. But the truth is, success comes from mastering the basics and refining them over time. Instead of searching for the next shiny object, focus on perfecting what you already know. Be patient with the process, and you'll see the results. It's easy to get distracted by the promise of instant fixes, but true success comes when you stop looking for the next quick solution and focus on the steady, ongoing effort required to build something lasting. It's not about how fast you get there, it's about how you get there. The journey matters as much as the destination, and it's during that journey that you develop the discipline, resilience, and skills that will carry you through life. Don't be swayed by the promises of instant results. Choose the path that requires steady effort, commitment, and persistence. In the end, that's the path that will lead to the results that truly matter. Chapter 10. How to build your success network. In life, we often hear that success is built on individual effort. It's easy to think that if we simply work harder, smarter, and longer than everyone else, we'll eventually get ahead. But there's a critical piece that too many people overlook: the people around us. Success doesn't happen in isolation. No one achieves greatness entirely on their own. Whether you realize it or not, your environment, the people you choose to surround yourself with, plays a massive role in shaping the person you become and the success you ultimately achieve. Building a success network isn't about networking for the sake of accumulating contacts or trying to collect as many influential people as possible. It's about surrounding yourself with individuals who elevate you, who challenge you, who inspire you to be better, and who hold you accountable to your highest potential. The people you surround yourself with either push you forward or pull you back. It's as simple as that. And if you're not intentional about who you let into your circle, you may find yourself surrounded by those who reinforce your fears, doubts, and limitations, rather than the people who inspire you to grow beyond them. Take a moment to think about the people closest to you. How do they make you feel? Do they inspire you to chase your goals, or do they make you feel small? Are they constantly pushing their own boundaries and growing, or are they stuck in their own ruts, dragging you down with them? It's not always easy to recognize the impact others have on our lives because we get so used to being around them, but your network can have an undeniable influence on your mindset, your habits, and your outcomes. Some of the most successful people in history have shared one common trait. They built a strong support system. They didn't try to go it alone. They understood that success isn't about surviving in a vacuum. It's about being part of a community that pushes you to be your best self. This community could be mentors, peers, colleagues, or even friends who are on a similar path to growth and success. The key is to surround yourself with people who share your values, who challenge you to be better, and who won't let you settle for anything less than your best. However, it's not enough just to have people around you. You have to be deliberate about who you choose to include in your network. If you spend your time with people who always complain, who are negative, who don't take action, or who constantly make excuses, you are going to mirror their behavior. Your mindset and attitude will be shaped by the environment you choose to be in. That's why it's crucial to seek out people who can elevate you, not bring you down. At the same time, it's important to be a valuable part of your own network. Building a success network isn't a one-way street. If you want to surround yourself with high achievers, you have to become one yourself. It's about bringing something to the table, whether it's knowledge, experience, energy, or a willingness to help others. The more you contribute, the more you get back in return. Your network thrives when you make an effort to support others in the same way you hope they'll support you. The most powerful networks are built on mutual respect, trust, and genuine connections. It's not about transactional relationships where people only connect with others to get something. A true success network is a community built on collaboration, shared values, and a commitment to personal and collective growth. These relationships take time to develop, but they are some of the most rewarding connections you'll ever make. They're the people who will support you when things get tough, who will offer valuable feedback, and who will help you push past your limits. But how do you find these people? It's not as difficult as you might think. Start by looking at where you are right now. Are you already in a group or community that shares your interests, goals, or values? Whether it's a professional network, a personal development group, or a community that aligns with your passions, seek out individuals who are doing the work you aspire to do, or who have already accomplished what you want to achieve. Don't be afraid to reach out and start building relationships with people who inspire you. Attend events, engage in conversations, and make an effort to build connections that are meaningful and mutually beneficial. If you don't already have the right people around you, it's time to get proactive. Look for mentors, those who have walked the path before you and can offer guidance. Seek out peers who are equally motivated and driven, who can challenge you and keep you accountable. Surround yourself with those who are consistently learning, growing, and pushing themselves to be better. If you find yourself in a group that's stagnant or toxic, it's okay to walk away. Don't be afraid to let go of relationships that no longer serve your growth. A strong success network isn't just about what others can do for you, it's about how you can uplift others as well. Remember, the best networks are built on mutual respect and support. When you offer your help, expertise, or resources to others, you create a powerful exchange that benefits everyone involved. The more value you give, the more value you'll receive in return. You're not just looking for people who can help you achieve your goals, you're looking for people you can help as well. The beauty of a success network is that it grows organically when you nurture it. It starts with one person, then another, then another. Before you know it, you're surrounded by a group of like-minded individuals who are all working toward their own goals and cheering each other on. This network becomes a support system, a sounding board for new ideas, and a source of motivation when you feel like giving up. It's also important to remember that building a success network isn't just about the people you meet in person. With the rise of social media and online communities, you can connect with like-minded individuals from all over the world. There are countless forums, groups, and platforms where you can meet people who share your values and interests. Don't underestimate the power of online relationships. Some of the most valuable connections you'll make in your life might start as virtual conversations. The relationships you build today will shape the opportunities you have tomorrow. It's not just about being surrounded by successful people, it's about being around the right kind of people. Seek out those who push you to think bigger, act bolder, and aim higher. These are the people who will inspire you to keep going when the going gets tough, who will help you get back on track when you stray from your path, and who will celebrate your victories as if they were their own. The people you choose to bring into your network will help determine the life you lead and the success you ultimately achieve. If you want to level up, if you want to reach the next stage in your personal and professional growth, you have to invest in relationships that elevate you. A strong, supportive, and challenging network will provide the encouragement and accountability you need to go further than you ever imagined. It's time to take control of your environment, surround yourself with the right people, and start building the success network that will propel you toward your dreams.